Gazza, we've just watched the Blues at Moana Pacifica, so if you haven't seen it, there's going to be spoilers. We won the Battle of Auckland.
Yeah, correct.
Big maul. Big scrum.
I think we basically won it in the first half, didn't we?
Pretty much. 24-5 at halftime.
Yep. Yeah, they Moana Pacifica played it right in the second half, but they couldn't come back for those two big leads that they had against the when the Crusaders and the Waratahs had them on the ropes. They came back, but they didn't. They came a little bit back tonight, but it was a little too late.
Yeah, we controlled possession pretty well.
Yep,
Controlled the territory.
Yeah, it's a game we had to win.
Yeah, very important for the Blues season.
And we've got to beat the Crusaders down there next week, which is going to be really hard.
Crusaders at the top of the log, Gazza. They've had a bit of a bounce-back season.
They're playing really well. They've got a lot of depth. And they're playing a bit like their old selves from a couple of years ago. So it'll be an interesting battle down at Christchurch. I wouldn't make any predictions whether we're going to beat them or not.
I'd make a prediction and say we're probably not going to beat them.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to say that field of possibilities will probably come out as well.
But that game was decent. That was more like the Blues of last season. Got the set piece going, got the maul going.
The only thing I think about the Blues, I just wish they'd use their backs a bit more. Because they got lots of strike power, and AJ Lamb had a really good game today. And, we've got the 3 months we're going to have an All Black series against France. And a lot of these guys are fighting for their positions. So it'll be interesting to see how many Blues guys get in the All Blacks.
You want to see them use Talia and Clark and whatnot a bit more?
Yeah, I'd like to see them use Talia and Clark more, even Ioane, because even though that was a step in the right direction tonight, I think we've failed this season to utilise those guys on the style of rugby we've been playing from last year. A lot of teams have worked this out.
That's true. What do you think about Bodie? He got the second spot of the all-time highest point scorers in Super Rugby. He's overtaken Mornay Stain.
I think with Bodie there tonight, that basically won the game for the Blues, like they did last week against the Hurricanes.
Along with the Ford pack, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good. What do you think about Moana Pacifica? Are they a chance for the playoffs, or is it going to be?
I don't know. I would never say never. They're a good side. It's probably the best Moana Pacifica side we've seen.
I think, for sure.
And this will gel them for next season. Can they beat other teams? Yes, they can. We know they can. So we'll just have to see how they go.
Moana Pacifica kind of got penalised off the park at times, including one penalty for bad language. Do you think that's a penalty, or do you think that's just a warning?
Well, no, it's up to the ref.
Because he wasn't swearing at the ref, Malolo. He was swearing, I think, at the opposition.
Yeah, well, the refs take a pretty tough line with that. So either way, it's a penalty or a warning.
I feel like give them a warning first.
Yeah, probably, yeah. TJ Perenara.
Yeah, exactly right. But important, we got a bonus point as well, which in the scheme of things is pretty important because we're still way down the bottom of the log. Good win for the Blues. Bodie, like I said, top try scorer, a bunch of mauls. There were two other games yesterday. We saw the Hurricanes go down to the Crusaders.
Yeah, I think the Hurricanes are missing Jordie, Barrett and Artie Severe and a couple of others from last season.
I don't know if you saw it this morning, but Jordie Barrett got man of the match for Leinster.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
He's playing good rugby.
Yeah. Umaga Jensen and Valen Sullivan.
They're playing well.
The most consistent midfield combination in New Zealand at the moment. Are they going to get picked for the All Blacks? Possibly, probably not. But they should go close. The Hurricanes, I just think they might lack a little bit of experience this season. They've been close in a couple of games. They got close again last night. And they're thereabouts, but their finishing's not that great. Do I think Clark Laidlaw and his team are good coaches? I think they are. I think they've left a lot of tries out on the field this season that they could have got, because we know they've got game breakers, and they've still got game breakers. And they've got to go to Aussie to get to the finals, so the Fours and the Brumbies, so we won't hold our breath.
Yeah, true. sure it's going to be a hard road for them, but the Crusaders are looking good.
Our Crusaders, yeah, they were good last night. They good on a line out, good at the scrum. Good when they had the injuries, the guys that come on.
Yeah, they had multiple guys go off in the first half.
They're 100% better than what they were last season. A lot of respect for them. They're definitely going to make the finals. They're going to be dangerous.
And the Chiefs went down against the Waratahs.
Yeah, I saw the highlights of that game, and they knocked a lot of ball on the Chiefs. It was a bit unusual the way they played.
Suoliti played magic for the Tars. Absolutely magic.
But Waratahs are good at home.
They are. They're terrible on the road.
Terrible on the road. Do I think Dan McCull's a good coach? Yep, I do. He's not going for the Wallabies job. Him and Larkin have both ruled themselves out, so it looks like Kiss will get the job. Do I like him? Yes, I do. But he's going to need a lot of help. The Waratahs, they were good last night.
Yeah.
A couple of tries disallowed.
That's right.
And
big defensive shift at the end.
I think they outthought the Chiefs for ideas.
Where does that leave the Chiefs season? Are they still...
Yeah, they'd still be...
one of the favourites?
Yeah, one of the favourites. Yeah, they got the Highlanders next week, so we can't count them out. They got too much talent for that.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't want to drop any more games, or too many more games anyway.
That's right.
Clayton McMillan said that he was pretty disappointed with last night's efforts. He said it's probably a wake-up call they needed.
Yeah, probably. It's maybe not a bad time to have it. So how do you think Razor's thinking about his All Black squad at the moment? You think he'll be happy with what he's seeing?
I think he will. 36-man squad, it's probably a little bit early to pick who's going to get in there. There'll be a few Crusaders, of course.
Well, Scotty Barrett had a good game. He's been under the microscope a wee bit.
Yeah, he played well last night, All Black captain. If I was picking the All Blacks, I wouldn't drop him as captain. I'd still have him as captain, and probably Jordie Barrett and Artie Severe as vice captains. And if they weren't available, maybe them Rico Ioane and Cody Taylor like he did last year. I think there could be a few bowlers. I mean, there could be a few. Depends how many guys we get injured between now and then, and how many guys come back from injury. There's a good mix of guys. I think he's got enough talent to get a pretty good squad against France. Are we going to beat them? Well, they're going to send a pretty good squad there, and even if it's a B team, so it's going to be interesting.
That's right. Well, the French sides are still doing well in the Champions Cup as well. What about Joe Schmidt? Is he going to be happy with how the Wallabies are looking in terms of the Aussie sides in Super Rugby?
Yeah, no, Lisa, I can't understand why he's going to Japan, but
he's heading off.
I don't know whether he's going to pick him and Tom Hooper and the other guy, the centre from, what's the guy?
Eleni Kitao.
Yeah, Eleni Litau from...
the Brumbies.
I don't know. They have got enough talent to cover those positions, but he wants guys to play from Australia before he picks overseas. He's got he's got enough talent to choose from to challenge us, and we know that because the Aussie teams are doing really well this year, with all respect due to them. Could one of their teams win the Super? If you had have asked me 4 weeks ago, I would have said no. Now I've said possibly, probably, maybe.
Maybe.
Don't know. It's going to depend. The Wallabies, I think, will give the Lions a good share of trouble. Do I think they'll win the series? No, I think it could be 2-1. But it could be a very hard-fought series.
Well, we look forward to that. We'll see how the rest of Super Rugby pans out. There's still just under half the season to go for the regular season in the knockout stages, so it should be good. Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with the 5/8s we've got coming through, like Godfrey and Josh Jacob, and we've got a bit of depth here. We would want McKenzie and Barrett. They've both been injured this season, but they're both back. Thank goodness. But if you were going to blood a guy, who would you blood at first 5? Outside those two?
I don't know. I can't pick one.
Josh?
Maybe,
Josh Jacob?
Yeah. He's not had to do the goal kicking much, which is an interesting one.
He can kick goals.
He can kick goals, but he's not been required to at the moment.
And I'd really like to see them bring... Stephen Perfetta's another one they could have at first 5.
They could bring him back in,
yeah. But I'd like to see them blood a young guy.
Okay.
Like Godfrey or
Well, if you think about it, Bodie's in his early 30s, D-Mac's in his late 20s, and if they were to bring back Moana, he's also in his late 20s, I think.
Yeah.
So they got a bunch of guys in that kind of late 20s, early 30s. They do need to have a look at the guys coming through at some point.
Yeah, if I was me, I'd be doing one of them this year. I like Godfrey. I think he's good. I think Josh Jacobs good. Yeah. Even if they bring them in as like an apprentice on a tour for a squad or something.
Put them in the squad.
You know, give them in the environment and see what they can do. One other thing I want to harp on about. How do you feel about Jordie, Barrett and Artie Severe? Do you think they're going to be at peak form for the Rugby Championship?
I hope so. With
all the rugby they're playing at the moment.
They're playing a lot of rugby. But, I mean, Jordie's not been playing every game for Leinster, so hopefully he won't be too burned out. Although he didn't get a proper off-season. And Artie, he's playing a lot of rugby right now for Moana. But if they don't make the playoffs, then he'll get a decent rest as well. So,
do you worry about that? A little bit?
Yeah, that's for the coaches to manage their minutes and stuff, eh?
Yeah. And, we've got a ton of loosies. So, it'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Yep.
All right, Gazza.
Okay.
Cheers for
Thanks
that.
a lot. Yep.
We'll catch you guys again soon.
See ya, team.